And today I want to go back into the history of my makeup because I noticed that there is a lot of young people, young makeup artists out there who are doing makeup looks from like the 80s and 90s and 2000s. Well, not really 2000s, but like 80s and 90s, and they're getting it wrong. They're not, like, at least in terms of everyday makeup, they're not getting it right. So I want to show you how I used to wear my makeup from the 80s, 90s, 2000s until now, like for every day, like how I actually wore my makeup. Does that sound like fun? I've got my homemade vitamin C serum, but I haven't used it in a while. It's not too oxidized. It's super cheap to make. And when I made it, I was like, I'm just gonna use it all over my body. And just go through tons of it. But you know what? I'm too lazy. I got too lazy. And then I lost it like somewhere in my bathroom. Because sometimes I'm not the most organized. I'm going to use some castor oil. Just warm it up. Let that soak in for about a half an hour, and then I will be back to play with some makeup. I might put some tanner on. This is the only lotion I have right now, and I need a tan, and this will also emulsify my castor oil, so it won't be like shiny. I should have not put my shirt on because some of this could go on my neck. I'll still try and get my neck. I love this lotion. It doesn't turn orange. It's really nice. It has fragrance in it, and it might be irritating to a lot of skin types, but not to mine. It's fine. And it doesn't smell too bad in terms of chemical that's in tanner. I'll smell it, but Alba Sunless Tanner. It's so cheap too. Vegan, cruelty-free. I like it. So we're going to start with the 80s, and because the way that style cycles go, it's not by the decade. It's not like the style of the 70s was over in 1979 and then the 80s began. In fact, it's more like mid-decade. So I feel like the 70s had like disco, and like earlier there was hippie. There was a lot of stuff going on. There was glam rock. There was just so much going on in the 70s. Early 80s probably started before the 80s, actually. And I'm kind of thinking like Blondie. So I'm going to actually give you an early 80s look, and then I'm going to give you a late 80s look. And then we're going to go into the 90s. So you have to understand, I was young in the early 80s. Like I was born in 1971. We're almost going into the mid 80s by the time I was wearing makeup. So when I was like 12, that would have been 1983. And it was a lot of makeup back then. And the inspiration was like Madonna, but even Blondie coming in from the 70s. So there was still there was this sort of glam rock inspiration, but there was also, the shoulder pads, Dolly Parton, Madonna, just Bananarama, Go-Go's, like big makeup. And this is how I did it. So I don't have a lot of makeup. Actually, I don't have a lot of makeup, but I didn't have a lot of makeup then, so we're all good. I had to look everywhere for just an eyeliner because now I use a liquid eyeliner. I found one, and I'm not sure if it works. Let's see if it works. Yeah, it's fine. We don't have to do the whole lighter trick. So what I would do is I rimmed my entire eye with eyeliner. I wish we were going back in time. Because the makeup gets less and less and less as we progress, but we're going consecutive, which means I'm gonna have to be removing my makeup every time. I don't have foundation on. Oh, we didn't extend out that way. We went up like this, up like that. But we did that mostly with eyeshadow. So I'm going to do this one right, like exactly how I did it back then. And I would have used black eyeliner, not brown. And when I did my makeup like this when I was like 13, my sister told me I looked like a whore. So there's that. So totally lined the whole thing. What just happened? I don't know. Oh, it's not comfortable. Okay, eyeliner everywhere. And, you know, just to note, I did kind of hang out with a more alternative crowd. Well, for a while it was like Madonna. I was like really into Madonna. I mean, no, I really wasn't all that into Madonna, but my friends were into Madonna. And I was awkward. So I tried to be into what they were into. I mean, if we're going to be honest. This is when I was 13. And I went to a private school that only had 13 kids in it. And most of them were hushers. Like most of the class was into heavy metal. But I had one friend who was into Madonna a whole lot. She had all the bracelets and everything. And I considered myself like new wave. Yeah, so we got the eyeliner all the way around. Yeah, I didn't wear my makeup like this every day. I just, for special occasions, like to go to a concert. Like my first concert was Metallica. It was Metallica, and it was at the country club in LA. This is not going on, this is not working. I can't get, this won't print on my waterline. So we're gonna do this whole trick, which is probably not good for my waterline, but oh, I don't know. I think the eyeliner is different now. I don't know. It's probably not good. But it's still warm. Yeah, so my first concert, well, my first concert was really Nina Hagen at Magic Mountain. That was my first concert. And Nina Hagen, she was definitely like more in the punk side. I don't know what kind of music she was called, but I went there with my friend Sabrina, who was a death rocker. Okay, so this is what I would have done. Let's break out this old palette. This is the best we could do. I would have, back then, I would have gone with purple. Maybe like gold. Colors are a little bit more muted than what I would have worn, but we'll go for it. So I would have gone with this. I like to really like white eyelid. Like as white as I could get it. And you know what? Honestly, usually I put the eyeliner on after. But my habit is to put it on first now. So I forgot about that. Really white because I wanted to bring out that eyeliner. I probably would have gone a little whiter than this. And then I would have gone with a very purple color. Well, let's just go with this. This color right here. Ooh. You see it? That's really, no. We'll go with that darker purple. We'll go with the darker purple first. And then I made this triangle right here. And you'll see it. You'll see the triangle pattern on the back of like cheap makeup. And I would do that. It's a little redder. I usually used a bluer version of purple, but I don't have that anymore. But actually I do. I do. Aha! Right here. That's a bluer. Okay. I can get this not so red. Well, it looks more purple in person. Then I would take like a pink. Well, and I would put that right here. Like I did like a gradient. And then I would even sometimes put something on the corner of my eye. Go with the pink again. And would I blend? Not much. I'm going to blend now because you know what? My makeup is much more pigmented. It's better makeup than what I had in the 80s. So it needs to be blended a little bit. And then the thing with the 80s back then, because we always have different rules with makeup. So the rule in the 80s was the makeup should be balanced. So if you had a lot up here, you needed to have a lot here and a lot here. It needed to be all balanced. Pink. So they did do a little bit of, it's not so much contouring, like to get, it was a real like snatched look. And I used my fingers. And back then, I really didn't use foundation, although other people would have. Oh, God. Okay, this is weird. No. Okay, this is a little bit too pink. Oh, well, let's just. Oh. Okay. Okay. Okay, you know what, to be honest, I didn't really use wild blush, but I'm trying to do what people did, but that's what they did. They did the whole like stripy thing to get that snatched look, but I didn't really do that. I actually never wore, back then, okay, we're just being honest, I never wore blush back then. I was always tan, and I might have used a bronzer. There was this bronzer called everybody had it. It was in a pot, a terracotta pot. And it was a really like reddish brown bronzer. Indian something. Do you know what that is? Let's do the bronzer. Although this is not the kind of color that I used. It was more of a red. It looked like earth. And it was my sister's. This like barely does. This is almost like powdered foundation for my skin. Oh, you know what else I would have done? I would have done a little sparkle on the top of this. And no, I would never have touched my eyebrows. And they were bushier. And I would never touch them. I didn't even groom them. Some lipstick that balanced the makeup. No lip liner. Maybe a little frost on my lips. So this is what I would wear if I was going to a concert or a club. We did a lot of things when you were 13. Like I went to clubs and stuff. It was crazy. Totally free range. Gen X. Okay. So this is how I would have looked. I don't know why I'm doing that. Okay, so now we are going to move into late 80s. Gotta wash my face. This is gonna be hard to get off. I honestly just wash my face, and that would probably be in the late 80s, like literally. I'll show you what I mean. So in the late 80s, I literally sometimes would put eyeliner on my face like I did in the 80s, and I would wash it off, and that would be my look. I mean, honestly, this is pretty much it. This is the look. If I would have put the makeup on myself, I would have like just kind of dabbed it in, maybe waterline, and then kind of did this. This is seriously what I did. And then I would clean it up with concealer. We're talking like 1988. I need lotion on though. This is not working on my old skin, on my 50-plus-year-old skin without lotion. I need lotion. I used to just put like stick concealer under my eyes and clean it up, but that's not working anymore. This Garnier clearly brighter, so no foundation. I didn't use foundation, and I always use my fingers. So if I did use eyeshadow, I, like on the rare chance that I would probably go with a color like this. It's like pretty, maybe even something a little bit more red. And I would just a real lived in look. I put mascara on. I really need lotion on my face, so. No eyebrows. I did not mess with the eyebrows. Eyebrows were not plucked to oblivion yet. I always had a tan. This is not tan enough for my skin. So I did do the bronzer. Like, I tried to really get a no makeup look as much as I could. Sometimes I use the bronzer on my eyes too. Like, instead of that eyeshadow, I would just put it on. Now, that sparkly eyeshadow is only a special occasion. That's it. I would use just super natural. Like, people are doing, the young kids are doing the late 80s and 90s wrong. We weren't doing eyebrows or contouring or even using like makeup sponges or brushes. In my 90s look, was it like Margot from like Royal Tenenbaum? Because we did concentrate a little bit more on eyeliner underneath our eyes than above. I definitely was more into that underneath, and sometimes I didn't put eyeliner above the on my upper lid. I just put them on the bottom. 90s. Or late 80s. I'm trying to think when makeup really changed. Makeup was the same from the late 80s until 1999. And I'm not even going to take any makeup off. Because the only thing that changed in 2000 was I started doing this. I did a little flick. Basically, and I did less, I had less underneath my eyes. But I still had a little bit underneath, so, and I like to wear kind of a copper eyeshadow. So I did the flick with this kind of eyeliner, not liquid eyeliner like I do now. 2005 when things started changing, and that's when we got this look. And mind you, I'm getting a little older, you know, like I'm in my mid-30s. And so the makeup look is now starting to go into kind of an anti-aging realm. But like if I would walk into MAC Cosmetics, that's what they had in mind, you know, like let's make her look younger. Let's deal with those hooded eyes and let's make her eyes look wider. Early 2000s when the eyebrows started getting really thin too. Okay, so we're just going to work with what we've got going on right here. And I'm going to show you what we did in the early 2000s, the early aughties, I guess. So I would go to MAC or Sephora, and this is how they would do my makeup. We're just leaving this. Let's go with my Naked 2 palette. So we would take the darkest eyeshadow, and this is the eye makeup look that predates the look that we are dealing with now in 2020s. So we would do this, deepen the corner of the eye right here, like that, and then we needed to kind of do a cut crease. So we would take, you'd let your eyes kind of relax and start right here. See, we're trying to make my eyes look bigger and deal with the hood. And I'm working with the color that is, we're kind of contouring here. We're in the contouring age. It's like when the contouring age just began. We're not contouring our whole face yet, but we are contouring our eyes. We're going really high up above the crease, and then we put in a light base right here. We got to add some sparkle too, and we also have to blend because we're blending now. You know what I forgot to mention about the 80s? When I was about 15, I was in love with like a green eyeliner, like a sea foamy, iridescent green, kind of turquoise almost eyeliner. Oh, I loved it. It was like, it made my eyes look that color. I mean, honestly, this is like almost a softer look. This early 2000s look is a softer version of the 80s. Definitely need to get that highlighted inner eye going, because that was the thing. I was in New Mexico back then. That does figure in, because we do things a little differently in New Mexico. And before New Mexico, I lived in California. I lived in LA, but I also moved towards the beach. At the beach, actually. And so that's one of the reasons why I was really into the no makeup look. Wearing too much makeup sort of suggested that you might be like from Mission Viejo or inland, and like that you were just a mall kind of girl, like you hung out at the mall. I hung out at the beach. They hung out at the mall. Beach girls didn't wear a lot of makeup. Mall girls wore tons of makeup. So yeah, there was that. Okay. I'm putting a little sparkle just to make my eyes look more wide set. And in terms of lip, here's a color that I might have worn on my eyes. This is actually the red brown. This is the red brown lipstick era too, and we're gonna go with a little bit of this too. I used to take like a red brown eyeshadow and kind of go over my black eyeliner with it, because it made my eyes pop. Sometimes I play around though too and put like a little purple. I like that look. Purple and copper together, so pretty. This color, it looks kind of orange here, but it's a little bit more terracotta. And I definitely, I would have put some blush on. Another look that I liked back in the early 2000s, but I also liked it in the late 80s, late 80s was a very bronzed out look. Very bronzed out look is super cool. But okay, so this is the done up 2005 look, about 2005 to 2010. This is what we did. And honestly, my makeup did not change from 2010 until just recently, just till a couple years ago. And then I started wearing the makeup that I wear now, which is liquid eyeliner. I'm thinking this looks really pretty. So what do you think the makeup is going to look like going forward? Because I think this winged eyeliner look is going to be out pretty soon. And I think we're going to move into something else. I'm not sure what, given the political environment. So I'm wondering what the next revolution of makeup will look like. It's probably happening now, and we don't even know about it, because that's what happened. It just kind of sneaks up on you, and all of a sudden, like for me, I was like, maybe I should start using liquid liner. And suddenly I'm just doing my makeup completely different. But, you know, and as we get older, we tend to stick to what works. We don't do all the trends, you know, but I'm curious. Okay, so I'm just going with this combination of 2010s and now. Lots of makeup. It's the holidays. I still rarely, oh, you know what I didn't mention about, so there was a period of time when I did contour, where I did contour a little bit because I was working with Saint. Now I think it's just ridiculous. It's one of the reasons why I don't wear foundation now, because what Saint Cosmetics, this is their pitch, is if you cover your face up, then you have to reintroduce the dimension. And I just was like, well, why should I get rid of the dimension altogether? Why not just, instead of like using one product and then a whole bunch of products to fix the problem I created, why not just not use the first product? This is my big makeup look for today. I like the warm with the gray. And yeah, that's just what I'm doing today. All right, I hope you enjoyed this video, and you know, let me know. Let me know things, because I need to know things. And if you enjoyed it, please consider subscribing and liking and doing all the things. And I will see you in the next video.
Ladies, excuse me, ma'ams. Excuse me. I'm looking for the Midland Theater.